went to high school for 4 years there in Capital, Indiana, and then went to undergraduate college at Purdue University in West Lafayette, Indiana. At Purdue, my perennial question was, what am I going to major in? You know, and I loved everything that I took. I thought, okay, maybe I'll do pre-med. I loved my biology courses, and I took courses all along with engineers. Purdue is a big engineer school, and so I took math courses, science courses, all along with pre-meds as well as engineer majors. So every semester it seemed like I asked myself, what are you going to major in? It was like my big challenge, my big question hovering over me. So in my junior year, I kept taking. I love biology. I knew that. I was good at math and enjoyed math courses. But biology courses took so many lab hours, and I was constantly, and I loved being in the lab, but I was constantly in the lab with just very little bit of a college life that I wanted. So I thought by the end of my junior year, you have all these math credits because as a pre-med major and as an engineer, you take all the same math courses. So I decided, this is the beginning of my junior year, and I decided I really wanted to take some photography, arts, dance, theater, other classes to make me a more well-rounded person. So at some point, I went home and my mom said, oh, you're good at math, why don't you just be a math major? And I thought, oh, why not? So I declared myself a math major, and the blessing of that is that there were no labs associated with math, but I could pick and choose the chemistry, biology, and physics courses that I really, really wanted to take. And so biology was my minor, math was my major. And then when I completed my Bachelor's of Science degree at Purdue University, I then taught a year of biology at Purdue. And then, of course, what are you going to do next, right? So I thought about, well, I'll apply for graduate school. And then the next question was, what in? And I thought, well, I have love for biology, love for math. In my last year as an undergrad, I started taking psychology courses. And of course, I love technology. So I found an area that's an intersection of those three areas, biology, psychology, and mathematics, that was called behavioral genetics. And that is the genetic basis of behaviors and behavior disorders. So in other words, doing at the animal level, looking at different genetic strains and looking for genetic differences in certain behaviors. At the human level, using twins adoption, family pedigree designs to look for genetic basis of cognitive, social, personality behaviors, and behavioral disorders. So I went to the Institute for Behavioral Genetics in Boulder, Colorado, and I always gave myself an out. I thought, if you don't really like this, don't feel like you're stuck, because you'll, pick a place you really like. And I thought, I could live in Boulder and find something else to do. And for some reason, giving myself an out was great because I always loved what I chose, right? But I knew that I wasn't stuck in it. I could leave it if I didn't like it. But fortunately, I loved my whole graduate career as a behavioral geneticist. And then I did a postdoc at the Population Genetics Institute in University of Hawaii, Manoa. I had the same feeling, I gave myself an out. If you don't really like this, you'll enjoy Honolulu and you can do something else, get a research job. But I loved my postdoc. I played hard, I worked hard, and then I got a job here at University of California, Santa Barbara in the psychology department, where I was there the first 15 years, and then the last 15 years I've been in the graduate school of education. And that's just to tell you that in academia, there's a concept called academic freedom. And that is, if you're at a research institution, you have the freedom to choose what you're interested in doing research. And so, what great, right, if I'm interested in academic achievement, or if I'm interested in mathematics achievement, or if I'm interested in something about child rearing practices, whatever it is that I got interested, I could study, I could choose to study. So that's the whole concept of academic freedom. So last year, I applied for, or 2 years ago, I applied for a Fulbright to conduct research in Taiwan. I'd already started some work in that area, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. So today, Sarah asked me to answer some of these questions I hope that I have, and then to tell you a little bit about my Fulbright experience and about my research. So I thought I'd begin by reading this poem that I read at my Fulbright final talk that kind of gives the context of it, and then Travis, if you would start that.
Yeah, you can start, just press.
Okay.
There's not going to be any sound.
No, that's all right. Okay. 6 months. I actually stayed 7 months. What an extraordinary opportunity to immerse in my birth culture. A proud sweet potato child, Hanji Jiang. Taiwan is in the shape of a sweet potato, and those who are born there are called Hanji Jiang, or sweet potato child, or children. Everything Taiwanese I want to learn. Remember, I left when I was 7. Work hard, play hard, every day an exploration, a discovery, my Taiwan, my flavor. To visit my birthplace, elementary school, old relatives, friends of relatives, relatives of friends, adopted sisters, colleagues. That special Taiwanese hospitality, Taiwan flavor of Taiwanese. Warm, generous, sincere. As an outsider, I am Mandarin illiterate. Mandarin is the main language in the schools and used in the country. As an insider, I speak Taiwanese. Taiwanese is the native language. Zone limited. We spoke Taiwanese on a 7 before. As an outsider, I do not care for chicken feet, iron egg, or stinky tofu. As an insider, Okijiao, Jiabijiao, Yuhi, Sui Zhenbao, these are all lists of Taiwanese foods that I love. The list could go on all night. Outsider, the broadcast music is still pretty foreign to me. Insider, wow, I know that Taiwanese song being played, it's Xiaoan Jintao. I've learned the words, perfected by my hairdresser, reflexologist, the taxi drivers, the bus drivers. I can actually sing along. Language training, everyone is my teacher. Unanticipated sources. Who does homework before going to the hairdresser and reflexologist? I did. Play becomes work, and my research is play. Eager and sincere teachers everywhere. Yes, knowledge gained, goodwill, and warm hearts exchanged. Thank you, Fulbright, for my Hanji Jiang rebirth. And so this, about less than 5 minutes, is a slideshow of, captures my experience. You can sort of hear it. This music is played, it's done by children. And it's called Save Our Precious. And the precious is referring to flowers for actually the island or the globe, the world. My brother, second brother, visited. We call our sisters and brothers by numbers, out of respect. There are a number of conferences that I attended while I was in Taiwan, and a number of talks that I gave. As a Fulbrighter, you have to have a main host, and Professor Ye was my primary host. And as I mentioned, I had lots of relatives and discovered lots of relatives I had while I was there. I arrived just in January, the month of Chinese New Year, so that was a very festive occasion. And there were several days of this Pinchy Lantern Festival. Professor Navy is a psychologist, and his wife is an oncologist here who came to visit me. My second brother came to visit me while I was here. He's from Oklahoma. He's rooting for the Thunders, Jackie, so how about that? But this is one of the research sites that I worked at. And every grade, no matter high school, had a nap time. Most of the high schoolers just rested their heads, right? The young kids actually lay down in the mats and so on. As I said, my research, conducting research there was such a delight. It just didn't seem like work to me, right? And the kids, you know, they all clean their own classroom as well as the campuses. As I mentioned, play was work. You know, karaoke was one of the things that my sister introduced me to. And I had to listen to a Taiwanese or Chinese song in like 25 times and transcribe all the words. But different people were so willing to help me learn the language in that way. I I just immersed myself in the culture to learn Mandarin, to learn Taiwanese. This is a former vice president who actually visited here last month. This was my former student who's chair of this department. She invited me for a talk and made that great poster for me. And while I was there, because my research was on father involvement, Goldman Sachs in Taipei asked me to be a speaker in their Working Parents Month. So one of my friends asked me in Taiwanese, I said I was going somewhere after, and she said, I'll drive you there in Taiwanese. What's Haidiki? So I thought she was going to drive me a car instead with a motorcycle. I had sworn I'd never ride a motorcycle because it's just really, the traffic is just hectic and horrible. So there were Fulbright junior and senior scholars. But there were also Fulbrighters who just graduated from university, and there were English teaching assistants. So if you ever, after you finish your college years and think you want to do a Fulbright, choose a certain country that has Fulbrights, and that was one of my graduate students who I got to attend her wedding while I was there. She had graduated. The very last line of that song is, she is our precious, again referring to the country. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the research that, one of my main research programs now, and one that I continue to work on while I was in Taiwan. And that is a good sign, is a good thing. So if you look at birth rates, through many generations, every 12 years you'll see the fertility rate go up on the Earth trend. Anyway, so fertility rates have decreased because of a number of reasons. And some of the reasons are because the women in Taiwan are much more educated, much more highly educated. Also, they have decided to delay, they enjoy their careers and their professions, so they have decided to increase the age with which they marry. And also, if they marry, they've also delayed having children or decided not to have children. And part of the reasons is, they're enjoying their professions. Taiwan is still a very patriarchal society. So the women are feeling like they're going to have to do it all. And, they're enjoying their professions. Do they want children? It's very expensive to have children, and so on and so forth. So the government... Oh, 6 minutes. Okay. I'll cut this really, really short. So some of the questions so that was the main reason that I looked at father involvement, why the government was interested. I think what I'll show you in the next several minutes, so I investigated a number of research questions, and one was, if you look at the cultural media in Taiwan, is there evidence of progressive portrayals? And so I found in the textbook, and I won't go into each of these slides, but in the first grade, there are lessons such as, when you invite guests over, what should you do to prepare? And there are portrayals, as you can see here, of fathers helping to get ready. This is a third grade textbook, and this is a conversation, a dialogue about the father congratulating the mother for having just been promoted. And she thanks him for staying at home to take care of all the household chores and take care of the children. And the last dialogue part, and there's a set of grandparents there, the last dialogue, the son says both mother and father are great. There are, this is a TV commercial about a range hood, and right at the yellow post-it right near the stove, right near the range hood, there's a yellow post-it written by the mother saying, "You're cool when you cook," as a message to the father, and as a general message that it is cool to take responsibility of chores that were stereotypically female. These are pictures from a parent magazine with a whole issue focused on father involvement. Just quickly, so as you can see, I looked at progressive portrayals. In every research, you have a particular framework. and mine was a social constructivist framework. And I'm not going to actually, so I did a number of qualitative and quantitative work. And so qualitative work, you might do methodologies that interview fathers, right? And you look at their themes and so forth. Quantitative work, and I'll just end on this so that I can give you all time to ask questions. Generally, what I found in both the quantitative and qualitative work was that, mothers are more engaged in specific activities, but there were particular activities in which fathers and mothers were equally as engaged in this last paragraph, working with children on computers, playing computer games, puzzles, visiting libraries, and so on. It was equal participation. When I looked at parental role beliefs, mothers were more liberal, but fathers were not lagging that far behind. When I looked at boys and girls, I took a fifth grade last year of fifth grade boys and fifth girls. The boys and girls were equal in their particular perceptions of who should do what in a household. So that's encouraging, that's interesting. And then lastly, the last point, so I can have time for questions. When you do a quantitative work, you need a large sample size, and especially if you do it in mathematical statistical modeling. So I did find a particular data set that I was given access to that had both fathers and mothers' parental involvement indices and children's academic achievement. So I did some modeling in terms of looking at separating father and mother involvement and looking at academic achievement. This is just to give you a picture of when you do some statistical modeling, you need large data sizes. And I found some interesting findings, which I think in a nutshell, I'll just tell you, is that fathers were indirectly involved through students' educational aspirations, and that influenced their sons, but not their daughters' academic achievement. Mothers also indirectly influenced through students' educational aspirations, but again, the influence on their daughters was significantly higher than the influence on their sons. So I found some interesting same gender parent-child dyad influences, which I'll look further. So I'm going to give you some time to ask me some questions. I hope I gave you some flavor of the research and why I conducted it, and answer the question about how I got to where I am. And so if there's any other questions, I'm open to answering.
I don't know if you answered this at the beginning, but I was kind of late. Do you work for, when you're doing your research, is that for a university? Or
do I work, so when I do my research, do I work for the university? Yes. So as a, we're called ladder rank faculty, and ladder rank faculty means that for your first 6 years as an assistant professor, at the 6th year, you undergo a review, and you probably heard the word tenure, right? And so you either get obtain tenure or not, and that is based on your research. So in a sense, you are doing research, and that is based on a number of different things, research, teaching, public service, university service, and professional services. But at a research university, your research record is of utmost importance. If you don't conduct research and publish it, you won't get tenure. So do I do research and work for the university? Yes, but we also obtain grants. So who are we, part of that question I interpreted, who are we working for, right? Who do we report to? So in a sense, if we are granted by a particular granting agency, say Spencer Foundation or NIH, then we need to be accountable to them, right, to do our research and publish and so forth. But ultimately, we are paid, our salaries paid by the university, and we go through promotions and reviews, and are reviewed by the university.
What motivates you to do your research in these fields?
What motivates me to do research? It's curiosity, right? So, so when you think about, like when you have a project, you have a group project, or you have an assignment where you get to choose, right, to write a report on something. So I could ask you that same question. What motivated you to choose about, the speed of pitching in baseball, So my son did that as a project one time, I think for physics or something like that, was the science of pitching, right? So obviously what motivated him to choose that, he loved physics and he loved baseball, right? So I love research. I love asking questions. And I would say, in many ways, I am motivated by looking at what underlies individual differences. How do we explain individual variation? We're all so different on a number of characteristics, right? So part of my earlier career was looking at genetic bases of individual difference. And now, in my latter 15 years, I'm looking at cultural bases of individual difference. Does that answer you?
Yeah.